The fires that swept through several communities in the Toledo district have left significant losses in their wake. The fires became a threat to the communities from as early as last weekend when they threatened farms in several Maya villages starting from San Pedro Columbia. By the end of the week, the Cadenas Outpost near Graham Creek had also been consumed by the fires. Deputy Commander of the Belize Defense Force, Colonel Anthony Velasquez, said the soldiers had to abandon the post.
We sent air reconnaissance in the area, and about Thursday, the intense smoke forced us to evacuate our soldiers from Cadenas. So they took all they could with them, all movable equipment, and they evacuated to the Sarstoon FOB. However, they did daily patrols back to the Sarstoon area and attempted to remove other items as well. On Saturday, they returned and everything was in order. And Sunday, when they returned again, the outpost was burnt because of the intense wildfires.
Chairman of San Pedro Columbia, Basilicas Choco, told us today that the teams were able to suppress the fires over the weekend, but that many of the farmers had been affected by the flames.
I would say it's more than 70% of our farmers have been affected. But I don't think we have any severe homes that are burnt. It's just like camps that farmers usually made on their farms that store corns or other things that they have stored there. Those are the buildings that are burnt down. Cacao is one of the major crops that has been destroyed. I would say about majority, more than 50 farmers lost their cows, probably cacao fields. We have farmers losing their corns, as I said. We have farmers losing other crops, fruit trees, coconuts, other fruit trees that they have, especially the farmers that live on their farm.
Tide's terrestrial manager, Marion said the NGO played a huge part in saving other villages from coming under threat.
We got a call actually from the folks at the Yaste Conservation Trust last week, Tuesday afternoon, pertaining to a fire that was along the highway next to the Golden Stream Corridor Preserve field station. And so they felt that station was threatened by this fire. And so we were called to assist them with suppressing that fire. When we got there, most of the rangers from the Yaste had already controlled that fire. We received a call from rangers that were on patrol into the Golden Stream Corridor Preserve on the boundary line with the Columbia River Forest Reserve. And they were saying that there was a fire back in there. And based on the information we got from them, that fire was in there already for a couple of days. What we found was happening is these rocks were actually rolling down the hill, huge boulders. And so it was a little scary for us, but we were able to put fire breaks around those hills to ensure that those fires didn't come down those hills and then spread off into the forest.
NEMO spearheaded the effort to suppress the fires, evacuate villagers, and has already begun assessments of the losses. Area Representative for Toledo West, Oscar Requena, toured the affected areas along with Minister of Disaster Risk Management, Andra Perez. The images shared from that tour show extensive damage to the terrain and parched trees where lush greenery once existed. NEMO coordinator Daniel Mendez told News 5 that as soon as they got the information of how grave the situation was, they mobilized the District Emergency Management Organization.
We were able to get aerial reconnaissance to really understand the scope and the magnitude of the fires. And then we started to provide immediate support to the communities that were being affected. There was an on-the-ground reconnaissance by Honorable Andre Perez, who was the Minister of Political Economy and Disaster Risk Reduction, alongside the area representative, Honorable Oscar Requena. And based on that, it was determined that the impact was very severe, and it will require a significant amount in terms of the recovery of these areas.
Classes in the affected villages were suspended until further notice as assessment teams continue to monitor the smoke and visibility in those areas. Part of the operation, Mendes said, involved a few search and rescue missions and placing a shelter in Crique Jute village, while the B.D.F put the loss of the facility to around $80,000 and say that it will take a few weeks to replace the outpost in that southernmost area of Belize. Colonel Velasquez assures that Belize's sovereignty will not be compromised by this loss.
Because it has burned doesn't mean that we will be absent from the area. Our soldiers will remain in the area, and we'll do constant patrols as well from the Sarstoon FOB to the area until repairs has been done.
Mushtamp warns that the hot weather conditions are a recipe for fire disasters and discourages people entering the forest from lighting fires.
We have been trying to tell people that during this time of the year, do not use fire because it's harder to control and there's a high chance that you'll escape. And then when it's escaped, you don't know where it's going to go, what damage it will cause. I think it's high time now that as a country, we start to promote the wise use of fires and address the laws that deals with fire. We currently have a national wild and fire management policy and strategy sitting on a shelf that have been put to use. We could have alleviated a lot of these problems that we're seeing.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.